Eventually you will end up with something like this. So this is a terrain that's had mountains added to it, a SketchUp model added, and also a model from Sculptures. When you click Game and Play, you will then be able to walk through your model by clicking on the mouse or pressing the Alt key to look around, and then you just click on your mouse to go forward. So you have Scene and Game. You click on Game and then press Play, and then you'll get into the actual game mode. You can flip upside down and do all sorts of weird things, but for the moment, so you press the Alt key and you and then just move the mouse, click the mouse to move forward. That has gone very strange, but you get the general idea. But you can have sculptures, and also you can have SketchUp models. If I delete everything I have on there at the moment, and then it's very, very quickly, and then delete. So this is what you would end up with after the first tutorial. You have something moving about, and you also had a terrain, so game objects, 3D objects, and terrain. So like before, I'll click on terrain, and I'll just scale it up about 3 times its normal size, and I should, okay, so there is the terrain. The old terrain just appeared then because we were still in game mode, but if I now press game and press play, you're actually in just a blank world. So you're looking around and you're moving. So unclick play, go back to scene. So again, just try that again. 3D objects, game object, 3D objects, and terrain. And then I'll scale it up 3 times the normal size. Hit enter. So now you have a scaled up terrain. You're actually zoomed right out. To make your terrain, you can change the size of the terrain. You just click there and you can make it however big you want it. So that it might not look like it's increased, but it has actually got bigger. Okay, so you click on the terrain and you have a paintbrush. Click on the paintbrush and do edit texture, add texture. Okay, if you click select, these are all the textures that have come with Unity. If you don't see them, the first thing you would need to do, if you don't see, you click on that again, you should edit texture, add texture, and you click select. You should see things like trees, but also you should, if you scroll down, you should see things like grass hills and grass rock. If you don't see that, and you probably won't the first time you open up Unity, you do assets, import package, and environments. So if you don't see the grass and the rock when you do edit textures, then you just need to do that. Just need to add that into your project. What you'll then be able to do is just paint. Okay, so I'd already imported that, so it says nothing to import. So you do edit textures, add texture, then select. So you'll now see these different textures. Some it's wood and various different things. Start with grass hill. Click add. So now it's actually almost painted it in grass. If you do edit texture, add texture, you can add, so you just click there, select, and then you can add maybe a grass rock. Click add, edit texture, add texture, select, and you should have some water. Now if you click on paints, okay, you can paint the whole landscape. If you click on this one, raise lower terrain, then you should be able to just left click and drag over the terrain. You can have different types of rock. Okay, you can smooth it out a little bit. The best thing is just to click on them and see what you end up with. So you can also add trees. Again, with the trees you have to, there's a few extra steps to add in the trees, but that's very easy to show another tutorial. But for the moment you just want to add a few things like that. If you click on the texture that you added earlier, you can do raise lower terrain, but if you clicked on that texture that you had earlier, you can then almost paint that texture on. You can increase the brush size and the opacity, and you start to have like more of a rocky feel to the landscape. You also have water, so you can actually paint some water onto your land. So that is the basics. If you zoom right in, you get an idea about what you have just painted, so you can edit it, change it how you want. To actually put a SketchUp model in, or a sculptures model, you would just click Assets, Import New Asset, and find the SketchUp file that you had saved. Final thing is just to drag the model onto the stage, and as you said earlier, you'll see it appear on the left hand side. That was a SketchUp model. Okay, so you can enlarge it or make it smaller. You'll probably want to click there and then actually move the model somewhere within your terrain. You can check if you press game. Probably the best thing is to see where your camera is. So your camera is right over the other side. Now you could, so your camera's at position 0, 0, so it's right on the far corner. So you could actually move your model so it's near. So I'm just going to do 2, 2, 2. So you should see when you clicked on game, now the model has gone slightly off the terrain. So if I click on model, click on move, then I can just move it onto just drag it a little bit onto the terrain. If you then click game, so you should actually then click play, should be able to see your model. So this is the SketchUp model. So if I press Alt, I can look around and then press the mouse, so you can see the model is actually slightly up in the air. So you come out, click there, come out of game mode, and you can, similar to SketchUp, you just kind of move about, and you could move your model down a bit, and this is probably where you'd want to zoom right in. And now when you clicked on game, it starts to look a little bit more realistic. So you press Alt to look around, and then you press the mouse button to actually move. So now you're actually looking around in the terrain that you've built, and you've got your SketchUp model that you've just imported. So when you look in when you put this in to the Google Cardboard, it actually look like you're in that virtual world. You can also put SketchUp sculptures models in, same kind of theory. You just drag it onto the terrain, you can resize it, you can move it and do all sorts of things. That is a fairly quick introduction to using Unity, bringing in a SketchUp model, adding terrain, and then getting something ready for actually looking through Google Cardboard. Whilst you've done that, so as you're in that part of the model, you could just check that does work. That's going to look very strange, but if I click on game, there you go. So you actually see those mountains, so you can see how realistic the terrain looks. If I click on play, you should be able to just kind of look around and move about the stage. And that is the end of the tutorial.